Hey friends, welcome back to my channel in day 2 of our 12 Days of Christmas in July series. If you're just joining in, I have a link in the top of the description for day 1 so you can start at the beginning. If you're new around here, I hope you will consider hitting the subscribe button to join our crafty little family. And remember to check over on Instagram. We are posting holiday inspiration daily, so these will be items that have not been seen on the YouTubes, so check over there on Instagram. For today's tutorial, we're creating a Dutch fold greeting card. Now, I know this design is not new, but I wanted to make some simple changes to make it my own. First, I want to make it larger than the ones I've seen online, and I wanted to include all of my favorite finishing details. So if that sounds good to you, stick with me and we'll make it together. Don't forget to watch out for the question of the day. Now let's get started. So today we're going to be working with the I Love Christmas collection, and this is another Echo Park 12 by 12 collection pack. I picked this one up from scrapbook.com, and it has a really nice traditional kind of color palette, but the patterns are very whimsical and the images are very young at heart. So I think this is really sweet, and it works for lots of different ages and lots of different kinds of projects. So here is our collection. And here is our card base. So this Dutch door is so nice because you're combining different pieces, so you don't have to get all of those fold out of one piece. So you're not having to cut anything off and you're not having to flip it around in your scoreboard. It's just two pieces that come together and it's pretty simple. So I'm gonna use 65-pound weight cardstock for this base because we're going to be adding quite a few layers of cardstock and pattern paper, so it will be very sturdy. The first piece is 6 inches high by 10 inches wide, and I'm going to score it at 4. So this is going to give me the top of that card, and we're leaving space on the bottom for the additional piece that will fold out. And this is that piece right here. And so this is 2 inches high by 12 inches wide. I scored it at 3 and 9. So these are going to be the portions that fold out. I have already added my double-sided adhesive to the bottom. This will be plenty to hold it in place because you're going to add your cardstock and pattern paper over the top of it. So it will hold this in place very well. So I'm just positioning that right across the bottom and keeping it nice and level, and you can see how this is going to work. I think the easiest piece to put in will be that back, and I'm going to use this diagonal stripe with my beautiful green cardstock. The cardstock for the back is going to measure 5 by 7/8 by 5 by 7/8, and the pattern paper is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So that is pretty easy. This is just going to fill in the background. You will come in later and add a little section for your sentiment to be added, but I thought I would show it this way and then give you an option as well in case you decide to use it as decor so that you can have it standing up and not show all of the sentiment on the inside. So here is the inside covered, and what I want to do next is just bring in that top flap. So these patterns coordinate really well together, and I'm just going to mix and match them. I'm being aware of the scale, so I really want to make sure that I don't put too tiny prints together or too big prints, and so they're all going to get the same border of that cardstock, and then they'll also have the border from the base, and so that keeps it nice and separate and it doesn't look too busy. So here is the top flap. So the measurements for the top flap are going to be a cardstock of 5 7/8 by 3 7/8, and the pattern paper is 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now we're moving on to this next section, these two door flaps, and the measurements for this are cardstock is 1 7/8 inches high by 2 7/8 inches wide. The pattern paper is 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. I chose to use that same diagonal stripe so that I could match the inside. So I'm just gonna pull this open. That way I can get it flat on the bottom and get it centered well. And so the other option, I think, for finishing this card with a section to be added for your sentiment is to just go ahead and put it on the back. So that way, if you have this standing up as part of your decor, people won't be reading your personal sentiment on the inside. And the same piece goes here on the other side of the flap, and that will still get that beautiful crisp white cardstock border from the base. So now we have our folding section. So the next piece I'm bringing in is my doily. This is a die cut from a nice crisp white cardstock. This is the Frilly Lace Nested Circle die set, and this comes from Gina Marie Designs. I used the largest die in this set, and because this is going to overlap the bottom of this flap, you do want to make sure to only add your adhesive to the top portion. And so I'm going to position this, and you see that I am lining up the indentations where it will meet the bottom of that flap, because I think this is going to be where the card will rest when it's open. And you see I have that extended kind of far down there, and that will help to hold it in place. So the next thing I want to add is another layer of that pattern paper, and I did use a circle die with a nested set so I could have a nice border of that card stack. So here is 3 patterns layered, and it doesn't look too busy. The next thing I have is my sentiment, and this is just a nice large joy tag. This was part of one of the 3x4 cut apart cards, and I just used that stitched edge tag die to reduce the size of it a little bit and also to give it a nicer shape. I put an eyelet in here, looped some twine through there, and then added spacers for the back. This is going to go quite a bit higher than you would expect, but this is where the best placement is so that we can have a nice amount of all 3 patterns showing, but still have enough room for our flower arrangement. So here is our flowers, and I have a combination of some from Little Birdie Crafts and some from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I've paired them with die cut stars. These are from Sizzix. There are some smaller red flowers, netting, and twine. And then I've brought back that branch die. This is the Echo Park Garden branch. It is a layered die, so you will have to assemble it before you can add it, but I think it just adds a lot of beautiful detail, and it looks a little bit wintry in my opinion. So I want to position that flower arrangement here at the top. But first I want to show you how to get those white flowers to look as they do in my finished project. So here is how they come. This is the lotus flower from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and it has a stamen in here and 3 very nice layers. I don't know a lot about flowers, and I'm pretty sure that this is how the flower would look in nature, but this does not work very well for my projects because of that yellow contrast with the color palettes that I typically work with. So what I want to do is come in here. You see I cut the whole flower off, and then I pull the top portion off of that. So you're going to wind up with 2 of these petal kind of die cuts, and I'm going to reassemble these. I typically always use hot glue for that just because it dries so much faster, but you do want to make sure to offset those petals so you get a nice full look. And then come back in with your crocodile and reach all the way to the center and cut that out again, because you'll want enough room to work your stamens through. So you see how now I have just a slightly bigger hole. I did use the smallest side on that crocodile, and then I'm gonna decide for my project today that the gold stamens work best. And here's how they come, just in a little Ziploc kind of bag. I'm gonna pull out 5 because these are a little bit larger than the other colors. Typically I would use 6, but this is just the right amount for my opinion on filling up the center of that. So I'll just kind of pull these all together with the sides matching and then fold that in half. And then I can thread this portion through the hole that I just punched, and I'll pull that all the way tight across the back. And then you see where it loops over. I'll just go ahead and clip those to separate the twine in the back. I'll lay it over, hold it all the way flat against the back of the flower, add my hot glue, and then also add a small piece of scrap paper just to capture all of those twines in hot glue. And then I would come back and cut off the remaining portion of this just to clean it up a little bit on the back. But you can see now how nice the shape is. It's still kind of a beautiful dimensional flower, but it is not quite as thick. And so if you like to make very layered arrangements as I do, you can reduce quite a lot of the bulk and then also match the stamens to your project. Another nice thing about this is because you have 3 portions here, when you start to pull them apart, you can make 3 flowers out of 2. So it does help to stretch the flowers to last a little bit longer, but now they're perfectly shaped and dimensional for layering. And you can see I have this arranged so that it fills in that top left corner very nicely. I do have a beautiful ribbon here added as a bow with this Willow stitched satin that is also the name of my grand dog, so that's kind of nice. But this is one of my favorite Christmas colors because it's just a little bit vintagey. So now I know where my flowers are going to land. I can go ahead and glue those into place, just being aware to not cover up the words on that tag. I really love that wood grain. I think it looks so nice. Okay, a final last few details. Of course, I'm going to add some charms. These are just some little reindeer tokens, and I'm going to position those to the right of the tag there and almost to the top, capturing those strings in the glue. Move the excess string, and then I'll top it with a vintage button. And then, of course, I do want to add a couple of sequins to the bottom here just to help balance that larger flower arrangement. So now is a good time, I think, for our question of the day. And I think it would be fun to know, what is your favorite side dish for your holiday meal? For me, I think that is definitely going to have to be green bean casserole. I make that throughout the year. I don't wait for the holidays, and I found a way to make it with just 1 can of green beans so that we don't have leftovers for days. But let me know in the comments what is your favorite side dish to have with your holiday meal, and it will be fun to read through all of those comments. So I'm just pressing my sequins into that tombow, and then this card will be ready to display. So your recipient will get a nice handmade greeting card, and then when they open it, they can position it so that the doors swing open. And this will be very difficult to show on camera, but it rests on the bottom doors, and so it becomes a dimensional holiday home decor item. So that's all for our Dutch Fold greeting card for day 2. Do not forget to come back tomorrow for day 3. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe. You can find links to all the products I mentioned, as well as our socials in the description below. And as always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye.